My father's name flashes on my phone screen. For the 5th time, I watch it vibrate against my glass desk. The sleek surface. A far cry from the scratched oak table where I did homework as a child. Outside my window, Chicago's skyline gleams in the afternoon sun, 5 stories up and 800 miles from the rancher home, where I learned to make myself small. I hover my finger over ignore. Again the leather chair creaks. As I shift my weight, the phone falls silent. 3 seconds later, an email notification appears from Gregory Hale. Subject: your sister needs you. Last chance. My stomach tightens as I open it. The words blurring together, except for the final line. Isla's wedding is the most important event of her life. Be there or forget about any future. Support a voicemail notification pops up next. I press play and set it on speaker. Selena, it's your father. His voice fills my apartment, commanding as ever. I don't know what game you're playing, but this has gone on long enough. Your sister's wedding is in 2 weeks, and the festivities start this weekend. If you can't put aside whatever grievance you have for Isla's special time, then you can forget about any future support from this family. Your mother is beside herself with worry. Call me back. Immediately, a bitter laugh escapes my throat. I cross to the closet and pull out a framed diploma hidden behind winter coats. The golden bossing catches the light. Selena Ann Hale, Bachelor of Science and Data Science. Summa cum laude. 3 years collecting dust instead of hanging on my wall, because old habits die hard. My phone buzzes with a text from my mother. Please call, your father is getting impatient. I glance at the calendar on my desk. Isla's 2-week wedding extravaganza is highlighted in angry red. 14 days of ceremonies, parties, and photo shoots for the golden child's perfect day. I tap open my banking app. 138, 139. In savings, more than enough to never need their support again. They just don't know it yet. Memory surfaces 3rd grade. Clutching my report card with 5 perfect as mom. At the kitchen table, nodding without looking up from her magazine. That's nice. Honey, that same night the living room erupting in cheers for Isla's participation ribbon from the school play. Did you see how she projected her voice? She was the best one up there. Dad's face glowing with pride, while I sat invisible on the stairs. The science fair, my sophomore year. The blue ribbon I won for analyzing local water quality. The empty chairs were my parents. Should have been. They'd gone to Isla's soccer game. Instead, she'd scored 1 goal, and they talked about it for weeks. Principal Harris handed me my award. Your parents must be so proud. I nodded, the hollow feeling in my chest, already familiar. Then senior year. The thick acceptance package from the University of Chicago. My hands trembling as I read the scholarship. Offer Chicago mom's forehead, creased with concern that so far away, Isla might feel inferior. If you go there when she's just attending community college. Dad didn't even look up from his newspaper. We've discussed this. You're staying local end of story. The quiet negotiation that followed. I could live in the dorms at State. Just 20 minutes away, for quiet study. I'd argued, they agreed. Believing I'd surrendered, 2 weeks later, I boarded a bus to Chicago, with everything I owned in 2 suitcases. Leaving a carefully crafted paper trail of community college registration and a fake dorm assignment, the calculated risk of my first real independence. Now I stand before my bathroom mirror. No longer the invisible daughter, my reflection shows someone they wouldn't recognize, confident, successful, unburdened by the need for their approval. I return to my desk and trace my fingers over my name on the diploma. Selena Ann Hale. Product analyst. 6-figure salary. Invisible no more. My laptop screen glows as I open the airline website. My fingers move decisively across the keyboard. Booking a first-class ticket home time. They finally see me. I whisper to my reflection in the darkened screen. I pack my designer luggage, with precision tucking, the diploma between layers of clothes. A gentle smile spreads across my face as I imagine their expressions when they finally learn who I've become. Have you ever had to hide your success from those who should have celebrated it most? What would you do if your family only valued you when they needed something from you? My homecoming is about to teach them a lesson they never expected. The rental car crunches over familiar gravel. I park behind a florist van, unloading cascades of white roses. My childhood home has transformed into something from a bridal magazine. With ivory fabric swags draped across the porch railings, my mother opens the door before I knock. Her hair is colored, a precise shade of honey blonde. Not a strand out of place. Selena finally, her hug feels like a performance too stiff and too brief, decided to support your sister. I see inside the house smells of vanilla candles and fresh paint. Wedding planning has turned every surface into a staging area. My father emerges from his study, reading glasses perched on his nose. He doesn't hug me, just nods over a clipboard. Good, you're here. The programs need to be folded, and these guest welcome bags assembled. He thrusts the clipboard into my hands. Isla needs these done by 4. I just walked in the door. Dad, and now you have something useful to do. Isla appears at the top of the stairs, phone pressed to her ear. No, I specifically said, cascading arrangement not gathered. This is literally ruining everything. She spots me and holds up one finger in the universal sign for wait. Do you understand? This is the most important day of my life. When she finally descends, she air kisses near my cheek. Thank God the caterer is threatening to quit. And Mom is useless with the seating chart. Nice to see you too. Isla Damien's planning this surprise for the reception, and I need to make sure it coordinates with everything else. Damien, I set down my bag. Her fiancé, my mother supplies. You'll meet him at dinner. He's absolutely wonderful. Such a brilliant investor. Crypto millionaire. Isla corrects, with obvious pride. Damien Cross arrives at precisely 6:30, carrying an expensive bottle of wine and wearing a smile that doesn't quite reach his eyes. He's taller than I expected, with the kind of clean-cut handsomeness that belongs in commercials. For luxury watches, the mysterious sister finally appears. He grips my hand too firmly. Isla said, you are some kind of computer genius, hiding away in the big city product analyst. I correct, sounds intense. He winks. I've got some friends developing an AI trading platform. Revolutionary stuff. We should talk shop sometime during dinner. Damien dominates with tales of crypto, investments and exclusive opportunities. My father hangs on every word. So which exchanges do you primarily trade on? I ask, during a rare pause. Damien's smile freezes momentarily. Oh, a mix mostly. Private platforms. Exclusive access through my network. Fascinating. And your company's based where we're decentralized. He replies smoothly. The beauty of blockchain. Right, I've got partners in Singapore, Zurich, Dubai. My father shoots me a warning look. Selena, not everyone wants to discuss business at dinner. Later, searching for wedding programs, in my father's study, I stumble across refinancing paperwork for the house dated 3 weeks ago. The property I grew up in, which had been nearly paid off, now carries a sizable new mortgage. Voices drift from the adjacent dining room. Gregory, are you sure about this second mortgage? My mother's worried tone freezes me in place. That's everything for my inheritance too. Marion Damien has guaranteed 20% returns, minimum. But 59s. 000. Is you wouldn't understand investments like these. My father cuts her off. This is what building real wealth looks like. I lean against the wall, my analyst brain calculating risk factors. Second mortgage, family savings, inheritance all flowing toward Damien's vague investment opportunity. He's a fraud. Aunt Ruth's voice is barely above a whisper as we stand in the back garden, supposedly admiring her contributions to the wedding flowers. You see it too? I ask. She nods, her grey eyes so similar to mine, sharp with concern. Your father won't listen to me. Started talking about how I've always been jealous of his success. Mr. Wilson down the street lost $40,000 in an exclusive investment opportunity last year. She continues, sounded awfully familiar when I heard about Damien's proposals. Selena. Familiar voice calls from the fence line. Mr. Carter. My old science teacher waves. I've been following your career. That Chicago data science program you attended is one of the best in the country. I freeze. How did you, unlike your parents, some of us actually pay attention? Aunt Ruth pats my hand. For the first time since arriving, I feel seen. Dad, Mom, I think we need to talk about Damien. We're in the living room that evening. What about him? My father doesn't look up from his newspaper. I've noticed some inconsistencies in his business. Claims the way he describes his investments doesn't align with how crypto markets actually function. My mother sighs dramatically. Honestly, Selena, you've always been jealous of your sister's happiness. This isn't about jealousy. His investment claims don't make mathematical sense. My father finally looks at me, his expression hardening. You don't understand business at this level. Selena, not everything fits into your little spreadsheets. The front door opens, and Isla enters with Damien. She immediately senses the tension. What's going on? Your sister has concerns about Damien's business. Isla's face crumples. Are you serious? You show up after 3 years and immediately try to ruin the only good thing in my life. Damien places a protective arm around her. It's okay, babe. Some people just don't understand. Innovation. I look at their faces, defensive, dismissive, deluded, and realize I've miscalculated. They don't want the truth. They want the comfortable fiction that makes Isla special and Damien a prince. The invisible daughter sees everything but no. One wants to look when you see loved ones heading for disaster. How far should you go to protect them from themselves? Would you risk further rejection to save family who never appreciated you? I tuck myself into the corner booth at Rosie's Coffee Shop, the same spot where I studied calculus during high school. The vinyl seat squeaks beneath me, familiar yet foreign. Now my laptop screen glows with open tabs. Business, registries, investment forums, social media profiles. 3 previous identities. Stare back at me. Ethan Lewis, Edward Lambert, Damien Lawson now. Damien Cross. My finger traces the pattern on the screen. Same man, different names. Same charming smile, different victims. I sip my black coffee, its bitterness matching the taste in my mouth as I connect. Unmistakable dots, need a refill. Honora, the same waitress from my teenage years, appears at my elbow. Her eyes widen as she studies my screen. My cousin lost everything to a man who looked just like that, called himself Edward. Something my stomach tightens. Lambert. That's it. She sets the coffee pot down. Investment scheme. Left town right before the wedding. Broke her heart and emptied her savings. I pull up another browser window. Nora, would she talk to me? A woman in her 50s sits across from me. So hours later, hands trembling around her mug. I thought I was special. Teresa whispers. He made me feel chosen. My sister thinks the same thing. Teresa slides a folder across the table. Pictures. Bank statements. Police reports. That went nowhere. Her jaw tightens. He disappeared 3 days before our wedding, along with $60, Suarozero, and my mother's heirloom ring. The photographs confirm what I already know. The account statements showed transfers to untraceable offshore accounts. The police reports detail 3 other victims with similar stories in 3 different states. I thank Teresa and pack up my evidence. The wedding is 5 days away. The knot in my stomach tightens. Where have you been? Mother's voice cuts through the hallway. As I step inside, the flower arrangements need checking, and Isla's having a meltdown. About the place cards. I glance at my watch, barely past noon. I was researching something important, more important than your sister's wedding. She thrust the checklist into my hands. Your father noticed your attitude problem. He says you've barely helped at all. A familiar weight settles on my shoulders. The invisible daughter now visible only for criticism. I find Isla in the dining room, surrounded by sample table settings and crumpled tissues. The calligrapher messed up the font. She glares at me through mascara-smudged eyes. Where were you? I've been texting for hours. I check my phone. 3 texts. The first sent 40 minutes ago. You've always done this. Isla sniffles dramatically, disappearing when you're needed, then showing up to overshadow me. The accusation lands with practiced precision. For 23 years, my existence has somehow both fallen short and been too much. I'm trying to help you, Isla, by avoiding wedding preparations, by questioning Damien's business. Her voice rises. You can't stand that I found someone amazing while you're alone in Chicago, doing whatever boring job pays your bills. I bite back the truth about my boring job that pays twice what she's ever earned. Instead, I pick up a place card and examine the allegedly wrong font. I can call the calligrapher. I offer. Dad already did. Isla dabs her eyes. At least he supports me. The living room, full silent, as I finish presenting my evidence. Printed screenshots, bank records, police reports, and Teresa's signed statement spread across the coffee table. My parents sit stunned on the sofa. Isla perches on the armchair. Face-pale Damien stands by the fireplace, his expression carefully composed. This is clearly a case of mistaken identity. His smile doesn't reach his eyes. I have a common face. People mix me up all the time. Your Honor, the evidence speaks for itself. I lay out the documents in front of Aunt Ruth, Principal Harris, and Mr. Carter, who have all gathered in support after my late-night calls. Every pattern points back to Damien Cross and his web of lies. Isla's voice trembles. This is insane. She looks from me to Damien, searching for reassurance. Tell them it's not true. Babe. Damien straightens his tie. The picture of calm indignation. Clearly this is a coordinated attack by someone jealous of our happiness. He's good. I'll give him that. But numbers don't lie. I point to the identical bank transfers, the recycled company descriptions, the trail of shattered women and stolen savings. Aunt Ruth grips Isla's hand, hard enough to make her wince. Clara went through something similar, she says quietly. Remember when her fiancé disappeared right before the wedding with half her trust fund? Isla's eyes widen. Clara was my college roommate. Yes, and Damien fits the same pattern. My father shifts uncomfortably, clearly remembering the refinancing documents in his desk. Perhaps we should at least verify some of these claims, he mutters. Isla's face hardens. I can't believe you're taking her side over me again. She storms upstairs, sobbing. Damien follows after her, his mask cracking. For the first time, the perfect smile slipping into a snarl. When he thinks no one is watching. Have you ever tried to save someone determined to destroy themselves? How do you protect family who'd rather believe a lie than face the truth? The wedding day dawns bright and cruel, like it knows what's coming. I dress carefully in a tailored navy suit diploma, tucked safely in my bag. Not as a weapon this time, but as proof of who I've become. Outside the venue, guests chatter, excitedly oblivious to the storm beneath the surface. Isla floats down the aisle, radiant in lace. Her smile fixed, Damien waits at the altar, handsome as ever, but his eyes dart toward the exit. Too often the ceremony crawls by, each vow a countdown. To disaster, speak now or forever, hold your peace. The words hang in the air, heavy, dangerous. I step forward, voice steady. I object, gasps, ripple through the crowd. Isla's face crumples. Damien's jaw tightens. I hold up the folder. Every guest, every relative, every friend is about to see the truth, projected on the screen behind me. Photos, documents, victim statements. One by one, their perfect fantasy shatters. Isla collapses onto a chair. Sobbing, our father demands answers. Damien bolts for the side door, but uniformed officers block his escape, courtesy of the detective, who finally took Teresa's case seriously. After I connected the dots, the handcuffs click louder than the organ music. The reception hall is silent, save for Isla's muffled cries. My parents sit pale and shaken, our family's perfect image in ruins, and me standing at the center. Visible at last, the fallout is brutal. Relatives whisper. Former friends glare. My father can't meet my eyes. My mother busies herself with meaningless tasks. Isla retreats to her room, refusing food, and visitors only. Aunt Ruth squeezes my hand. You did the right thing, even when no one wanted you to. Selena Hale, invisible daughter turned unwilling heroine. The next morning, I pack my suitcase diploma, carefully wrapped once more. The house feels cavernous, hollow, like the illusions that filled it. My phone buzzes a message from Ms. Porter, the financial advisor, who helped untangle Damien's fake companies. Impressive work, Selena. If you're ever interested in forensic analysis, there's a place for you on my team. Another buzz. Dr. Lin checking in. After months without contact. Heard about what happened, proud of you for standing firm. Remember, your worth isn't measured by their approval. O'Hare. I sip a latte, watching planes arc across the sky. My phone rings. Isla. Her voice hoarse. Can we talk? I almost let it go to voicemail, but answer instead. She whispers, I hate you for what you did, but I think you saved me too. Silence stretches between us. Maybe the first honest moment we've ever shared when the call ends. I stare at my reflection in the terminal glass for the first time I see someone whole, not defined by rejection or invisibility, but by resilience. I shoulder my bag, boarding pass in hand, my future unwritten and fully mine. Have you ever had to burn everything down just to finally be seen? What would you sacrifice to step out of invisibility and into your own power? My story isn't just about survival. It's about emergence. Selena Ann Hale, no longer invisible.